let's get into this next one. So the next film is going to be Highest to Lowest, and this film it had a limited theatrical run. I tried to hit the theaters for it, but I didn't try hard enough. So next thing I know, it got released to Apple TV Plus. And this is an A24 collaboration between Apple TV Plus and A24, and this is Spike Lee joint. And in this film, when a powerful music mogul is targeted by a ransom plot, he is forced to fight for his family and legacy while jammed up in a life or death moral dilemma. This is based on an Akira Kurosawa film called High and Low, which is also based on a novel. So I guess this is Spike Lee, kind of paying homage and doing his reinterpretation of High and Low, because he's famously, he says this all the time, Akira Kurosawa is one of his most influential directors that, he learned, his craft from, some of the tricks that he applies to his work. But this film stars Denzel Washington. We also got A$AP Rocky, Ilfinish Hadera. We've also got Jeffrey Wright in this, Dean Winters, Rick Fox, man, crazily enough. We've also got Aubrey Joseph in this, Michael Potts, man. It's real good to see in here, as well as Elijah Wright. And I think those are going to be our main guys. There's a lot of other people in here, but these are our main. And for the most part, I've rather enjoyed this film, man. It is a crime thriller type film. Our character, main guy played by Denzel, is a music mogul. He's kind of at a turning point in his career. He's getting tired of the just being driven by money and wants to get something meaningful. I think one of the interesting combos in here is had with him and I believe that's Potts, Michael Potts, who plays the brother of Mazul in The Wire, the hitman Muslim guy, but he's telling Potts, he's like, he doesn't feel good about his career anymore. He used to listen to music a lot and enjoy it, and now he's been focusing on just numbers for years and years, so he wants to get back to that. And there's a weird thing going on. I think they're trying to get some investors to come into the company or sell it or something like that. But it's a kidnap plot, you know what I'm saying? So they attempt to they actually do. They kidnap his son, you know what I'm saying? But they end up nabbing the wrong guy, man. One of the kidnappers ends up getting his friend's son. So then there's this dilemma comes up with him and Jeffrey Wright's character. This is my son, but he's also like family. So
Yes,
do
he's
we,
godson, right? Yeah.
yeah, do we pay the ransom? And it gets into this crazy stuff, which I really did like. I think that's some of the meat of this for me. Is them addressing this kidnapping plot, and like I think him and Jeffrey Wright have some really powerful scenes in this, man. Some acting is going on, and Denzel is always great in general, and then it kind of goes on from there. There's some twists and turns, as this thing unfolds and when we get to its conclusion. But for the most part, man, I rather enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? It definitely has a lot of Spike isms, in it, but it's also missing some. And I wonder if that's because this thing is essentially so adapted and not so much one of his original works, like we got with Malcolm X or even though Black Klansman was adapted, I still feel like he had more of his touch on that film, story wise, than he did with this one in a way, man. If that makes sense to you, I don't know if you were
I
feeling the same way.
I think he made this his own. This is very similar to the Akira Kurosawa film I Low. I saw this probably during COVID or a little bit before COVID. Last time
Mhm.
I actually saw it, and it's one I meant to add to my collection. But I think it's a real good update to that film.
One of Kurosawa's there's a name on that as an executive producer on this, and I'm not sure which Kurosawa relative is. I don't know if it's his son or someone else related to his estate, but they're definitely on the credits as this film is opening up. But what I'm saying when I say the Spike isms, it's almost like that extra thing with Harry Belafonte that wasn't in any of the original
Oh
Black
yeah, when he goes
Klansman
off
stuff.
script
Yeah,
a
he
little bit,
doesn't.
that
He
kind
doesn't
of
have that
that's
moment in this
yeah,
film.
yeah.
It kind of sticks to the source material for the most part.
Well,
I think the
well,
closest. I think the closest thing we got is maybe when he was showing that the parade footage. With Rosie Perez and the
yeah,
kid from the Heights. That's probably the closest. But even then, that's a little wild.
the
And
Puerto
and I
Rico Day
think
Parade.
Yeah, and
Um,
I kind of enjoyed that moment on the train too with the Yankees and it was a Nick Tesoro
yeah, yeah,
as the
yeah, yeah.
crazy fans. So maybe there is a little bit of it, you know. Yeah, so there's a bit of New York in it. I will say this, man, I really enjoyed this thing a lot. But as far as Spike's overall filmography, this feels more like something like Inside Man, than a true like Spike joint. You know what I'm saying? Where it's headed down. And I think because it is adapted and it is kind of a reskin of High and Low, but Spike putting his own touch on it. But it feels a little bit different than
I, I,
for me
I,
it did.
I really didn't have a problem with that. I just want him to
I'm not
make more
saying that's a
films.
problem. I'm
And
just saying it
yeah,
feels
yeah,
different.
it feels
That's
different.
I'm not
Okay,
saying it's a
okay.
problem. I'm just saying it feels different. It has a different energy, than some of his other works. And maybe it's because it's not so much of a drama as we're used to. This is actually a procedural in a way, kind of
Yeah,
more like a kind of almost an action in a way, man. I feel like this is like a more of a crime thriller kind of thing. And we don't usually
it
see this.
is.
His
It
his
is.
films are
Yeah.
usually more about people than specific like events or things. Like I say, Inside Man feels kind of this vibe, or even 25th Hour kind of encroaches in this space a little bit, as far as the
I,
vibe, what I'm getting from it.
I think we got kind of personal, especially when we go in that recording room and why the kidnapper did
Mm-hmm.
what he did.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll say to myself, dude, you you kind of mess yourself up because
Yeah,
you had
yeah.
talent and everything, and
it,
just
it kind of comes around though too,
yeah,
man. And
yeah,
it's a if you think about it too, it's kind of a weird dynamic of what is happening in the story, and it's kind of like things that were done in the past kind of circle around, and it's almost one of the things. It's like that, like it reminds me. I'm thinking of what's that, Iron Man 2? The guy on the elevator, and then how that comes back around like at the end and start. You know what I'm saying? Is how he treated this one guy in the very beginning, and that guy ended up becoming a problem later on in his life. And I feel like ASAP is that in a little bit because they
yeah,
did have a
yeah, yeah.
chance and they had an encounter
You,
and they
you,
had a
you're talking about
chance.
Iron Man 3 with Adrian,
Oh, okay, that was
Adrian.
part three.
Yeah, that's part three.
All right, my
Yeah, that's
bad, my
part three.
bad. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Guy Pierce played
yeah,
that part.
yeah, yeah, kind of in that kind of way, without just getting into the detail
Yeah,
of it.
yeah,
But man, Denzel is as good as ever, man. I'll watch him in anything. You know what I'm saying? It's just
yeah.
it's always a treat. And I'm seeing mixed reviews. Some people are complaining about the score, and I'm like, have you guys been paying attention? Spike has always had these really highly pronounced, like orchestral, kind of jazzy kind of scores, man. That
Yeah.
that 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 kind of.
Yeah, it's that his father did like some of his first scores, like in some of his first films, because he
Mhm.
was a jazz musician. Yes,
I was looking
it's
for the filmographer on this though too. I don't know if him and Ernest Dickerson are,
cinematographer or
yeah, cinematographer are linked at the hip anymore. Yeah, I don't think it was, yeah, Matthew Labitique. And yeah, I mean honestly, it's not like I was felt like it was much different. I thought the camera work was great, at times in this. I was just wondering myself if it was Ernest Dickerson. And I don't know if they worked
no, it
together in a
wasn't. Yeah,
while.
yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't.
But I mean, overall, I definitely enjoyed this, man. This is a good time. Matter of fact, that guy, I think he did.
Caught stealing.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm looking at that. He's got some stuff. He did Pie, The Fountain, Requiem for a Dream. So he seems to be a Aronofsky guy. Oh,
I did Don't
Tigerland,
Worry,
bro.
Darling. It did the well.
hmm Yo, Tigerland, man. I just actually found a copy of that again. Have you seen that before?
That was
Ti- Tigerland.
Joel Schumacher, right? With
I think so.
that's Joel
Yeah, Joel
Schumacher with
Schumacher and this
Colin
guy
Farrell was
Colin
in that, isn't he?
Farrell. Yeah, they're like Marines at in North Carolina or something,
Yeah.
or no, they're in Louisiana, and I think it's right before Nam. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah.
It's been several years ago when I saw it, but that's one of those things where you look at Joel Schumacher. He makes this film. He makes Phone Booth, and then he made those two horrible Batman films, Batman Forever and Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. But then he still make Lost Boys. So to me, Schumacher was a little bit everywhere, you know.
I like the one with Schwarzenegger though. Mr. Freeze was fun. I
Yeah,
can't
boy.
say it's a good film, but I enjoy watching it. It's silly, good time. And I think that's the one where he was talking about every person on the set, like all the big actors, he had to talk to his assistant before he could talk to them, and it
Yeah.
made things convoluted and it's so ridiculous. And plus the studio wanted things, and yeah, man, it's a mess.
Really, they were selling toys in that one.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, but overall, man, Highest and Lowest, man, I think it was a great film, man. It's a good time, man. One of the better ones I've seen this year. And yeah, man, it's a simple story, but I think there's a lot of humanity in it, man. Like I said, man, the decisions that they've got to make, with the scenario. I think ASAP Rocky is also great in this, man. You know what I'm saying? I think he's gonna have a future if he continues to pursue acting, getting the right roles and just being able to stand toe to toe with Denzel. That's not an easy task
Yeah, I know, I
for
know.
even the best, more seasoned actors, man. So that was impressive.